Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Dr. Amel from City Skin Clinic, and today I thought we'd have a little chat about collagen supplements. There's so much around about collagen supplements, and there are a lot of kind of claims made about how beneficial they are for beauty, especially for hair and for skin. And so I get asked a lot of questions about collagen supplements in clinic, and I thought it'd be really useful to put together my thoughts based on the evidence as to whether they're worth taking or whether they're a complete scam or if it's something in between. Before I continue, if you're new to our channel, welcome, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you can see all our latest videos. And please give this video a thumbs up at the end if you like it, of course. If there are any questions about collagen supplements or anything kind of beauty, skin health or aesthetics related, leave me a comment and I'll answer any questions that I get. So, collagen supplements. Well, first of all, beauty supplements and beauty pills are massive at the moment. It's a huge industry, it's growing. In general, the wellness industry is massive as it is, and it continues to grow. And there's been, over the last few years, a particular kind of push from people selling so-called beauty supplements, and a lot of that is around collagen. A lot of the most popular supplements are ones that you eat either in the form of powders or in the form of tablets. So a bit like with your vitamins, or you can mix them into smoothies. But there are also other ways that collagen is being pushed forward, particularly in skincare. So lots of skincare creams now that you'll find have collagen in them. So why is this? Where is this idea that collagen is useful? Is there anything behind it? So first of all, collagen, if you didn't already know, is a protein, and it's really, if you think of it, it's available in basically all our tissues, and it's the scaffolding that holds our tissues and our organs together. It provides a sort of scaffold for the cells that make up our tissues and organs. It provides this support structure for them to organize and to be the shape that they need to be. And it also provides, so if you think of a scaffold, it provides strength for them as well. And the thing about collagen is, we make collagen all the time in our bodies, and we make collagen by the food. So a lot of it through the food that we eat. So collagen, like I said, is a protein, and it's made up of these amino acids. And some of the amino acids, our body makes them from scratch, but then there are essential amino acids, and those we can only get by eating them. We can't make them ourselves. And so from our food, our body takes these amino acids, the building blocks of collagen, and it makes collagen. And it makes collagen that is needed from anything from our skin to our organs, to things like the type of collagen that's found in your bones is also different to the type of collagen that's found in your joints, the cartilage. And so there are lots of different collagens, and again, those differ from the type of collagen that's made that's found in your blood vessels. So we really need collagen, absolutely. And the reason we need it is, like I mentioned, it's this really essential scaffolding. And there are many types of collagen, and our body is good at using these raw materials, the amino acids, to make the types of collagen that we need. Also, when we have injuries, our body will repair that collagen and make new collagen. The only problem is this process, as we get older, as we gets less efficient. And so we end up over time losing collagen. And so this is why you end up with things like problems with, one of the reasons you end up with, skin, thinner skin, less pliable skin. As you get older, it's the reason that your hair may change and you may lose hair. It's the reason that you may have problems with your joints, for example, because of wear and tear that breaks down that cartilage, and an essential component of that is collagen. And so as we get older, so from our mid-20s onwards, we lose about, at a rate of 1% a year, the collagen that's in our bodies. And So for women, that means by the time people hit menopause, that may be as much as having lost 30% of the collagen in your body. How do we reconcile this? So we know that we need collagen, we know that it's great for keeping us looking and feeling younger, but we also know that it just kind of decays or gets less with time, and we lose some of it. So that's where the idea behind taking collagen supplements comes in, right? It makes sense. We're losing all this collagen, we can't make enough of it. Why don't we just take it and then we can replace it in the same way that we, might take a vitamin because we're not getting enough of one type of vitamin, like vitamin C. What about collagen? And that's the thinking behind it, and it is based on a few things. So one of it is in kind of some cultures where people have for a long time eaten collagen. So for example, eating collagen that's found in animal products where there's a lot of collagen. There are kind of anecdotal reports that people may have younger looking skin and hair. Of course, this is kind of very observational, and it's not particularly useful to make a wide sweeping statement. We know that there are lots of reasons why people in one part of the world may have better skin than in another. There are lots of things like the environment, other kind of dietary habits. It may be that different ways of taking care of skin. There may be genetic factors. So this is where the science comes in. So we have to look at what actual studies have been done to see whether there's an effect on collagen, whether if I started taking collagen tomorrow as a supplement, will I see a benefit in my skin and my hair and my body in general, my health. So luckily, there are some clinical studies. There's more and more of them being done, but some of these studies have shown that actually if you take people and give them collagen supplements regularly, so something like between some of the studies done 2.5 to 5 grams a day, then in at least 8 weeks, those who were studied reported having better skin, better hair. And just generally, some studies looked at things like joint pain and mobility, and those studies do show potentially that there is a positive effect. The problem is these studies tend to be small, so it reduces the reliability. For example, if you have a very small number of people and you study them, there's a chance that these may be a coincidence, the results you find. It's better to have larger studies, and that's what's needed. The other thing is you also need to control in a proper study, make sure that these people aren't doing something else that's also improving their activities. And of course, there's the placebo effect. So sometimes we know if we take something, even if there's nothing in that placebo that improves our health, there's nothing, it's just a sugar pill, for instance, the act of doing something will sometimes have a positive effect on your body. So that's why a lot of doctors and a lot of scientists will kind of looks with skepticism at some of these studies. But that's not to say they should be discounted. What I've mentioned so far, it really does seem like it makes sense to take collagen supplements, right? Well, there are some counter arguments for that. One being that the studies aren't exactly clear-cut. The other is actually the collagen itself. So we know that when we eat products, there is a suggestion that actually, most of that collagen, we don't know how much of it will get absorbed by our bodies and used to repair collagen and used to boost the collagen in the skin and everywhere else we need it. There's the argument is that actually a lot of that collagen will be broken up by the acids in our stomach, and it's not clear how much of it will be absorbed. So that's one thing that we need kind of some clear data on. And the other is actually the source of collagen. So most collagen that you'll find will be animal derived and usually from cows. That's a huge source of that. And it's usually taking collagen, so collagen is found everywhere. So maybe collagen in the skin or collagen from the ears or from the hoofs. The bits that are kind of spares or leftover, those get ground up and the collagen is made from that. And the same with chicken and chicken feet and so on. The problem with that is that sometimes in that collagen, it may be that some viruses, if they're present in the animal, and one of the big worries is BSE, which is kind of known as mad cow disease, that could be passed into these collagen supplements. The other is that in an area where animals may be in the presence of toxic materials or heavy metals, these might find their way into that collagen. So there is a real health concern, and a lot of supplements aren't very well regulated. So one of the things that I would always say, if you're thinking of taking a collagen supplement, make sure it's from a reputable source. Make sure, if you can, that it's kind of animals that are sort of free range. Make sure that there are some welfare standards. Obviously that goes with all kind of animal products, but also if you can, perhaps organic, and also just know the source. Where is this coming from? Which country, which laboratory, which, just so that you can be a little bit safer. And there are different countries have different standards, so it's really important to consider this. Another thing that you can do, and this also counts if you're vegetarian or vegan, is there are some vegan supplements that have collagen in them. And in that situation, we know that collagen is largely animal derived, but in these supplements, they tend to have components that help with the building of collagen. So things like amino acids that are needed, things like vitamins that help support collagen production and reduce its breakdown. So it's also worth looking into these. The other argument that about kind of collagen supplements is, well, with myself and many doctors will say that actually people should try to get their vitamins, their minerals, their all of their kind of products from their diet as much as possible, and reduce the amount of supplements you take. So there is, to some extent, some truth in that. And if you're someone who would prefer to have kind of collagen in your diet, then there are things like sort of bone broth that's got a rich source of gelatin, which has the components that are needed to make collagen by your body. So that's quite a useful thing to take. And generally, if you're someone who has a nice, healthy, balanced diet, you're less likely to need supplements. The other thing is, again, as I mentioned, just because you're getting collagen, whether it's in the form of a supplement or whether it's in your diet, it doesn't necessarily mean that that collagen is going to go where you want it to go. The collagen even is absorbed once it's broken down in your stomach, and then your body is able to use it as a building block, to use those amino acids in it. There's no guarantee that it's going to go to your skin. So your body will, in a way, repair. It has its own checklists and maintenance, and it knows what needs the most. So if you have, for example, joint problems, so your body might decide that actually that's where we need to focus on making collagen rather than in improving your skin or for your hair. So again, that is something to bear in mind. The other is that if it does work, and if collagen is going to have an effect, you are going to need to be taking it regularly, at least for an 8 to 12 week period. Your body takes that long for cells to turn over, for the tissues to repair themselves and to regenerate. So if you're going to see a result, you're going to be needing to do something like this for 3 months. So from 8 to 12 weeks, so from 2 to 3 months. And so you have to be patient and give it time. The other thing that's really, really important is to recognize that as we age, we lose collagen, and there are a few reasons for that. One of them is just that our cells get a bit tired, and they get less good at repairing and regenerating and maintaining our body. The other is environmental factors. So as we get older, and one of the reasons that we have a lot of collagen loss in the skin is actually due to sun damage and UV rays. So really, there's no point in taking supplements without making sure that you're doing everything you can to prevent this loss of collagen, and that means using sun protection, using good SPF daily. It also means making sure that, you know, if you can use them, use vitamin C and retinol, and these will help protect against some sun damage and antioxidant effects, which we know damage collagen, but they will also help with stimulate collagen production in the skin locally. So it's really important to be doing everything you can. So, you know, in beauty and in health in general, it's rare that one single action or one single product is going to solve everything. It's usually a multifactorial approach, and so that means doing what you can in terms of skincare to look after your skin and to boost it. And then if also you're going to modify your diet or take supplements, do that as well, but don't do one and not don't go towards kind of trying to take lots of collagen in but not protect your skin. And then lastly, there's another point. So collagen, in a lot of kind of especially high-end creams, you'll find that they say they have collagen in them. So there's really absolutely no evidence that applying collagen to your skin in the form of a cream is going to do anything. So that's something, you know, that is, I would say, you know, I like, if you like those creams, fine, use them, but actually it's not worth wasting money on. So collagen itself isn't, when you apply it to the skin, isn't going to do anything. It's not going to be absorbed by your skin, and so so the benefit isn't going to be useful. So I would save your pennies and not waste them on collagen creams. And I would say that in terms of collagen supplements, I think if you are keen to try them, make sure you've boosted your diet first. Make sure that you're using sun protection and you're looking after your skin, and then make sure that you get them from a reliable source, and that you know, safety first, because this is a supplement at the end of the day, and it should be something that's better regulated. And if you have any medical problems, please don't use any supplements without discussing with your doctor whether that can affect your medication, if you're on any medication, or any health problems that you have. So what's the verdict at the end? Are collagen supplements a scam, or are they a steal? Well, I actually think there is some evidence that can suggest that using collagen supplements or eating more collagen could help, but we need to keep an eye on it. We need better clinical trials. And we need to know what form is better. And if you're keen to try them, remember, don't bother with creams. If you're going to look for either tablets or powders. One thing we do know is that powders tend to have a larger amount of collagen in them per serving than tablets do. So that's something to bear in mind. And always start everything slowly and build your way up. And be patient. You need to wait, remember, for 8 to 12 weeks before you start to see a result. Let me know. I'd love to know if you've tried collagen supplements, if you're currently using them. Have you seen an effect? If there are any recommendations you have in terms of which supplements are your favorite, also please leave a comment below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel.